So obviously, this started first and foremost with Revel. Quick story, so when I started at Cinnabon, maybe half of our units in malls had a point of sale. In fact, in some cases, when I'd show up, I'd be lucky if I found a phone in the back room. So we were definitely behind, to say the least. But what we did is we took that as an opportunity for us to say, well, what can we do to jump ahead? And that's when we found Revel. And so we said, rather than continue to roll out our Micros platform, what's next? This is an opportunity for us to convert and take a leap forward. Similar to how a developing country says, you know what, why am I laying landlines anymore? Let's just go to cell phones. So that's exactly what we did. And as you can see, it looks great in our new look in bakery. It's more relevant to the guest and the team member. So that duality is actually evidenced right there from Revel, because both of them are looking at an iPad. Obviously, it allows us to do more guest engagement and team member engagement. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second in terms of the benefits. Another little story. So we start rolling out Revel, great partnership. We're getting it out there, great feedback from franchisees. And then we get a call from Apple. It says, hey, I heard you guys are rolling out Apple Pay. I said, well, yes, we are. So that was a nice little surprise. And we are also now in a partnership with them and Revel, which is fantastic. And as we look at Apple Pay and some of the things that are coming that are integrating mobile payment with loyalty, with just overall guest engagement and guest experience. So again, go back to the beginning of the presentation. We said, I don't know what the future holds, but I know by being with Revel that I'm better prepared to be there. And that's our first case in point. So let's talk about Revel a little bit more, and why we believe this was the choice for us. So one was ease of use. I had a senior operations person who went into one of the first bakeries we had Revel in, and it got real busy. And someone needed to work the register. She'd never been trained on Revel. She stepped up to the register and just figured it out. It's that intuitive. So you've got a much better ease of use, ease of installation, all the above. And I guess, I don't know if this falls into this category, but also maintenance. So for those of you who have more traditional point of sale systems, you have a hardware problem, you're boxing that thing up, you're shipping it out, you're bringing another one back in, a loaner, and you're shipping that back out and bring it. With Revel, if we have a hardware problem, we pop it off the stand and we walk down to the Apple store and we swap that thing out, we download, and we're off and running again. So big plus. Always on. As you know, for a lot of you use an Apple system, that you're never booting up. You're not waiting for that kind of spindle of death as you're going forward. But what we have is that it's always on and it's always ready to be used. It also never goes down, so it's able to spool transactions. So everybody knows that Wi-Fi signal goes off, you get real scared. Well, that's not a problem. So the last one on the basics, because I'll talk about more of the advanced features and where we really think the future is going, is the security. So PCI compliance. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you I understand internet security protocols, because that's not my thing. But what I will tell you is the PCI compliance for this register is a fraction. The survey, I think, is like 11 questions versus 110. So the net of this, I think you get where you understand just the basic functionality and how much better it is. I can stop there, and my franchisees they stopped me and said, we're in. That's great. The fact that, and it's integrated with Intuit, and it never goes down, and it's easier, and actually it's less expensive, at least on the upfront cost. They're like, done, which is great, because as we get into the next set of features, from a franchise basis, for maybe an audience that wasn't terribly tech savvy, you start to get a little of the deer in the headlights effect of all the things you can do. So it's kind of like parsing it out. So that was great. We were able to sell it in on just the base proposition, but there's so much more. So we talk about future capabilities. And I say future, I'm talking like later this year. I'm not talking 5 to 10 years from now. Analytics. So a lot of those are already ready. We're continuing to hone that and dial it in. As you know, what I don't want bakery managers doing is staring at analytics all day. They should be out there serving the guests. So we're going to continue to hone that and get it down to those reports and analytics that mean the most, because data can be the heart of darkness, and we don't want that. But the reporting features in Revel are fantastic, and moreover, they're accessible. So having that online, being able to access and see what your labor scheduling is and how your labor is running, sales are running in real time, is a huge benefit for most of our operators who are generally not at their desks. So that's also a fantastic feature. And this last piece has multiple layers. So not only do we now have 95% of our units on point of sale, that number was hovering closer to 50 about 12 months ago, but we also have a back of house system. So when I was at Yum with KFC, I know we rolled out a point of sale system, a production management system, tens of thousands of dollars. We have none of that, and yet we're going to be having labor scheduling, production planning, inventory management, and much, much more. And that's all embedded in this. So we've now taken a huge step forward and actually we have a business ecosystem that we can leverage and so with our improving unit level economics, that will improve even further with these capabilities, because these haven't been rolled out yet. The future is very, very bright for Cinnabon. Our average unit volume used to be 350 just a few years ago. Now we're at 460 and climbing rapidly. And then having these back house capabilities will continue to help us drive top line and improve our bottom line margin significantly. So we're very excited for our partnership with Revel. It's been great, but it's only the beginning. And so we're looking forward for much more to come in the next few years.